The Sir Walter Jones Show, UBM Praise Chicago, part of the UBM Network.
All right, Sir Walter, tell us something about you. Introduce yourself.
I host the Sir Walter Jones Show Monday through Friday for 2 hours. Monday is our men's night, and we talk about stuff dealing with men. Everything you need to know. We're very transparent. We talk about our struggles, heartaches, and a lot of times women don't think we have a heart or we're not passionate. Unless we're watching the ball game, that is not true. We actually have one woman that we really love. We have two, we have 2 or 3 others that they do other things for us. Just being honest. But it's that one woman.
Be quiet, be quiet.
Yeah, but it's that one woman that he'll die for. And so I think what the men are going to do today is not tell you what's right or what's wrong. We're going to tell you what men do. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, that's what men do.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Woo!
And he ain't lying.
That's right.
That's no joke, Jones. I'm keeping real
I
calm.
ain't going to lie about it. Last week we did a show about pornography. Why men watch pornography. And, yeah, was it 3 weeks ago? Yeah.
I just canceled my subscription.
You did, you just...
This is how we do on the show.
Sure do.
Yeah, and while we were on the air, the men were inboxing me, telling me their stories. You know, they couldn't expose themselves on the wall.
True testimony.
Yeah.
I was in, that show was on Monday. That Thursday, I was in a meeting with a business deal. And the conversation between the guy on the other side of the desk came to a connect church. And then he realized who I was. He said, man, the meeting changed. That pornography show changed, man. Y'all was talking some real stuff. I came the next day and told him he had no clue. He was with the guy early. So you never know the impacts of what you share and the struggles that you have. Yeah. Others are having them. And the Bible says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And they love not their lives. You got to share some stuff.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who have the spirit of discernment. They can tell if they're lying. And they can see right through the radio. He lying. He lying. Okay?
They all got it.
Yeah.
They know we
y'all have that intuition.
They know we lying.
Yeah.
That nigga lying.
Absolutely. And that's why I love the Sisterhood thing. We did the Sisterhood show, what day was that? Tuesday. We did is the Sisterhood under attack. Okay? And you guys are under attack. Because the only time y'all's intuition kick in is when you think he's cheating. But it don't kick in when your sister is doing the same thing and you cover it up. And, yeah, that's wrong because you're not doing the justice for her. You're gonna cause destruction in her life and her man's life. Yeah, so that's the stuff we talk about. All right, yeah.
Good stuff. See, we are ready to do it. All right, because I'm ready. That's like that. Hey, say something.
People want to know how important is it in a relationship between men and women? What's the percentage?
Act or the quality of it.
Come on, man. Do a little bit
Explore on both sides.
I
That's what I
like
was going to
that.
say. I said a little bit on both.
Yeah.
We just need to know because some
Let us know that.
Y'all ready for this?
Okay.
Y'all sure y'all ready for this?
We need the truth, sir. We need the truth.
Sometimes a woman can feel like they're doing their duty by never saying no. But if they don't put their whole heart into it while they're doing it, then it actually makes them not even want it. So then you could say in your defense, I never said no, but you never wanted it. And men want to be wanted. Remember, we're made in the image and likeness of God. So when you say how important it is, it's the quality as well as the quantity. And the quantity varies between the man. It also changes as he gets older, depending upon where he is in life, physically and mentally. But the quality is what keeps him coming back. It's usually that woman that's the one that he's always going after. He may not, that's the one.
So,
Why are you gonna do it like that?
I don't know what's happening today.
Did you want
to say something?
I did want to say something, but you just kind of use your guess. Oftentimes,
I know what that is.
women get caught up in the game and forget about the rules. And you don't ask questions until you feel or something's wrong, when a lot of those questions should have been asked and examined from the hit. I guarantee you, if you ask a man from the beginning a whole lot of questions, you'll find out if he's enduring at that point. Is he willing to stand up to the challenge of your query? And can he respond significantly enough to the point that you can see through the lie? Because he'll answer any question off the hit to say what he thinks you want to hear. But is it what you need to know? And can he provide evidence to prove what he's saying is true? See, doing research on the surface is different. You got to support the research you do. It's like writing a paper or doing a dissertation. You have an idea. He looks good. Looks like he'd be a good man. I see his potential. Potential ain't nothing but a big rock sitting at the top of the edge of a cliff. Is he kinetic? That's what you need to be looking for. Don't look for potential. Look for kinetic when you're looking for a man. Kinetic energy, potential energy. Kinetic means it's moving. It's energy in motion. Potential is energy at rest. Energy never dies. So when you say he got potential, if he's not kinetic, keep it moving because you kinetic. Potential energy will drain kinetic energy or absorb it. And a lot of times women get involved with men with potential and they are absorbing all their kinetic energy. And they end up drained. So regardless of how much he could do, how much is he doing? Because if he is doing something now, he's most likely going to continue to do something.
And that's very, very important. We do as women have a tendency because we love to sometimes help and nurture and say, but I can see further in him. But I really, especially at this place in my life, feel as though the years, well, I say at this point,
Probably about 20 years ago, I probably would have said I had more patience and he got a lot of potential. But now it's not. It's you fall in love with who he is, not who he has the potential to become. Not that he can't, but I need him to accept him and for who he is now, and not what I see him be. Because what you could see could be what you see, and that doesn't mean that's what he wanted to become.
He may not see in himself what you see in him. And if he can't see in himself what you see in him, he's never going to actualize it.
That's exactly
He's
right.
never going to actualize it.
So what was your one sentence to women who want to be married?
If his name isn't worth more than yours, don't take it.
Yeah. All right. See,
He talked about credit.
I love that's a Facebook moment.
He talked about He talked about credit. He talked about credit.
That's a post.
A woman never has a name of her own. I don't care what you all think. It's never yours. It's either your father's or your grandfather's or your great-grandfather's. Even if your mother never got married, the last name that you have is a man's name. So if you're talking about getting married, that means you're giving up your name and taking on his. And if his name can't do more than yours, then you don't need him.
That's incredible.
His name should be, if you can write your name on a piece of paper and get what you need by yourself, and he can't, you don't need him.
That's right.
I'm going to charge y'all on that. That was so heavy.
Right.
I need all.
If you can't, if you say
Knock it off.
Because,
That was tight.
okay, I have a daughter,
I got to give him that.
and I'm empowering her,
You know,
I'm
they should
preparing
title
her.
that.
Huh?
You know, they should title that.
What?
Name drop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you got to drop your name to take on his.
Because y'all
the
drop
twin become-
names when you want to impress people.
Oh, you sure do.
You drop names all the time. Everybody do it.
So when you walk in, do you know Joe Bob Johnson?
you're
You
right.
always drop names.
Oh yeah, I know that nigga. He ain't no good. And I'm going, oh yeah, he's a great guy. That's one point in confirmation. If his name can't do more for you than the one you got, you don't need him.
His was, Triple's was, do your research on the man you want. Sir Walter, what is your advice?
My advice? I think my advice is check his credit report, check his social media. Because social media says everything about a person. Zuckerberg has caused all y'all to act a fool. Yeah, he has helped us discover who you really are. Because you will say on social media
What
who
you never say in
what
person.
you never say in person, you will say because you hide behind that computer.
Computer courage.
You
And
say
that's
it.
who you are.
And your potential job will check your social media before he hire you to find out, okay, who are we hiring? Because on social media they're gonna tell us who they are.
That's true.
And they'll go way back in time and see who this is. I think on the spiritual level, we should never be always trying to find Jesus under pressure. And that's the problem.
Wow.
We always want to find Jesus under pressure, but the ones who try to find Jesus only under pressure are the ones who are going to leave Jesus. Because I went to jail for a minor situation, and I was in there because we were waiting on a court date. See what I'm saying? I was in there for weeks, only because the judge says, you know what, I'm busy. Let him hang out there. While I was in jail, I heard Jesus' name more than I heard in church. Jesus, 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 Jesus. They was letting prostrate before him. Okay? Under pressure. But when they was released, they had forgot him. And recidivism, meaning that next week, the same guy was back in there. I'm like, hey, you're back. What happened to Jesus, Jesus, Jesus? So jail became church for them, okay? And I think that's how it is with women when they're searching for men. Don't because your time clock is ticking. I gotta get this man quickly. So who's ever available, I got him, okay? And I think that's the problem. It's the same thing for us when we're searching after Christ. The Bible says men should always pray. All right. So you're driving down the street. When you're in the grocery store, I'm praying and singing. I'm like, God, I'm not going to search after you because I'm in trouble. I'm doing it because I just love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So do your investigating on men, but I think we're talking about the men, but I think you need to find out if you're healed yet yourself before you go taking up with some
Oh
men.
God, I use the term empty out.
Man, if you're not healed yet from your past relationship, don't be looking for no man.
It's hard to travel with full
He's
luggage.
going to bring some more problems in your life because he's always struggling with something. Every man is struggling with something.
Always.
Always. And you're going to join forces with that, and you have a struggle too? Run for us. Run. Yeah, you need to fix yourself first because you can't fix it.
I just want to add, this is just maybe off what we're talking about. I just want to throw this out. You know what? Now, maybe I don't know if the other guys feel like this, but I'm going to tell you something. One thing about it don't take, and people may not agree with this, but I'm going to tell you when you know you got you a good man. It does not, contrary to the popular belief, it does not take a whole lot to please a good man.
You're right there.
When you find yourself got to do this, that, this, you jumping off buildings, you picking up so much weight, you may not have a good man.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you.
You're right.
Because if you research like your father, your good man, it don't take. I remember when, and I'm divorced. I'm divorced, but I remember I used to tell him, Victoria, that's fine. I mean, but look, listen, you ain't got to do all that. I'm in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to dress up. You ain't got to get on no pole. When you find yourself, you doing, and I'm not, because every man is
don't
different.
Don't knock the
I
pole.
need my pole.
Don't knock the pole. Don't knock the pole.
But I'm telling you, I
Man,
have
mess with my
sat
pole.
down in
I can't have pole. I at least have a pole.
in counseling sessions with women, and I be wanting to say, this man is trying to turn you into somebody else. He don't want you. He want Buffy. He want Beyonce.
Vampire Slayer.
Not that one. But so I'm just saying, when you notice, you're like, man, I mean, when you find that it ain't a lot of pressure on you to please him, you might have got you a good man.
Or one with no ambition. He just want to have a good place to sleep at night.
Have you ever taken your man? Have you ever taken your man walking?
I'm keeping it real.
Sorry.
You take him walking. Okay. Now, no phones. All right? This works. I'm telling you. The best thing that I've ever done with a woman is not sex. It's not flying a Europe. It's walking at night in the park. No distraction. Just the moon looking down on us. And I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to a lot of the old songs that men sing, I'm going walking with her. Okay. He will open up his heart to you every time. He will say things to you that you never heard him say. Turn off, leave the phone at home. He will talk to you. I said this to a woman group 2 weeks ago. They didn't believe me. One woman tried it. And she called me back after we did the phone conferences with the women the next week. She said, Brother Jones, I went walking with my. She said, we have a Facebook account. He will not add me as his friend. Won't do it.
Y'all been quiet down there anyway. I love it.
He will not add me as his friend. Okay, and I'm his closest. He will not do it. I said, really? Yeah. He just wouldn't do it. So she says, I took your advice and I took him for a walk. And he said some things to me that shocked me. I never knew that was in him. She says, the next day, I woke up and I had a friend's request from him. You have to get a man to a place where God tells you to fast. You know why he wants you to fast? Because you're vulnerable. You're at a place where you're helpless. And the only one who can help you is the one who told you to go on the fast. All right? So you put a man in a place where he's vulnerable, where he's helpless, that's that walking, and that's the romantic
More
spot
relaxed.
for him. Yeah, and he's more relaxed. That's right, no distraction. He gonna open up to you. He gonna tell you some stuff, and then it's gonna make you think. Okay, once he tells you this, now be ready, whether you're gonna stay with him or leave, because that's your option.
Don't hold on.
That's good. Would it be more beneficial to take that walk sooner than after you're in the relationship?
No, well, she's in the relationship
right,
already.
But I know. I like that
Yeah.
advice. I think it's good advice.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm wondering, would it be more beneficial?
It's a normal practice. It should be a practice. It should be an SOP.
Earlier, sooner.
Oh, absolutely. When I'm like him, I'm divorced, okay? But I'm sitting on the couch watching, and then my wife asked me at the time, she says, what's the greatest moment that you and I ever had? I'm thinking about the money that I spent. I'm thinking about the trip to Florida, Miami, and all this other stuff. I said, so I came up with some great thing, thinking I'm impressing her. And I said, what's yours? She says, you know my greatest moment? I says, what? Sitting right here on this couch, having dinner with you, watching TV. I'm like, I should have used that one. You know what? And I knew she meant it, because her eyes kind of got, I said, wow, simple. And that really was my answer. I wanted her to come home, or me come home, depending what the situation is. I wanted to smell that food in the kitchen, because a lot of us really are old school. Want to smell. My father, still today, been married for 100 years, it seems like. He wants to come home, smell the food, and he wants my mom to come out the kitchen with the plate, sit down, and then sometimes she'll sit in his lap, and they'll sit there and talk about their day. Simple, man. He thinks that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I saw that for 18
That's
years.
A, B, and C right there.
That's straight A, B, and C. Yeah.
Servant.
Yeah. It's not about flipping her over in the bed, doing all that stuff, because that stuff is temporal. And once the climax is over, watch him. Is he going to go to sleep? Is he going to color you? What's going to happen after the climax? That's when you can tell if your man's really into you. But that sitting there talking to my woman about just whatever, that's the greatest day of his life. And if you're not doing that, I don't know what your relationship is going to end up being 10 years from now.
Let me say this. The walk is powerful because if you walk with him by his side, you're actually in the rightful place, number one, by nature. Number two, don't start the conversation. Just walk with him. He's going to start thinking.
Oh,
and after he thinks, he's going to start sharing, because men have to share their thoughts.
that's right.
Here's one of the problems. Most of y'all don't listen to men until you think he's lying.
That's true.
You hear his voice,
Right.
and if it's not a request for you to do something, you ain't paying him no attention until you think he's lying. It's those moments between the lies where you can really find out the true him. Because he gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's who he is.
Yeah. That's true.
Because we lie to protect you.
Just listen.
We lie to stop from hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
We lie to keep confusion down.
Yeah.
These jeans too. How look at these jeans? You look beautiful.
Great. Good way.
I'm just keeping
your
it
boy
real.
is that. It is.
Do my boy look big in this?
Yes. That's what's going on with people.
You know
Yes.
you wear 32.
But her mouth says, no, baby.
I love that big old butt.
Yeah.
You know, he may do that. Might be truthful lie.
That may be truthful lie.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is Delilah was successful
That's right.
in disarming Samson because she methodically disarmed him.
Tell me your secret.
And he lied to her
Yeah.
each time
Right.
until she finally
She got it.
got him relaxed enough.
That's right.
Now the question is, what the scripture don't reveal is, what did she do next? Because he knew she was going to ask what the secret was. Because she did it more than once. And each time she did it, they came and tried to attack him. He fought them off. I don't know what she did. Maybe she swallowed. I don't know. She found out what it is. She finally got the answer. The danger is this. What you do with that secret will determine what he does or how he feels about you for the rest of your life.
That's right. Yes. And keep it secret. You better do
Because
that.
if he can't trust you with that secret,
That's it. That's a deal
you
breaker.
you not A, B, C, or D. You may still be wife,
Yeah.
but you Z.
Yeah, you're not in there.
Because then you become a financial issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you because it's cheaper to keep her.
Right.
I'm going to stay here because you're my mother of my kids, and my kids love their mother, and I love my kids enough to deal with this bad relationship until they're able to stand on their own. Or we done spent too many years investing our time and money, and it's not going to waste. We get along fine, so we can work this out. I can play the role.
Yeah, keep
But then after a couple of years, hey, I'm going to do something with this room. I got me a man cave. Oh, good, he got a cave. He ain't going nowhere. I know where he is. He downstairs, sleep. He downstairs, never come upstairs to sleep. He go to work from the man cave. He eat in the man cave. He talk in the man cave. And you upstairs in utopia because at least he at home. But you are single with a married man.
Right.
Did you have a one-liner, or did you have a
One word.
suggestion?
God. That's it. It's a good
So
one.
if you want to be married,
Good word.
That's it.
biggest pet peeve that women do.
I know that answer.
Pet peeve.
Question you to death. Too many questions.
You to death.
What you this and what? When you ask a man too many questions, then he can start off being honest and transparent. But if you keep questioning, now he finna say something just to get you on out the way.
It turns into a lie because you
You gotta-
question him and won't accept his answers.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sometimes, I mean, because I remember, I'm going to give you, we being transparent, right? I'm going
Of
to tell you
course
about a situation that happened here. Keep it real quick. When I first got married, I remember it was a young lady that that I graduated with. And at the time, I thought I was going to marry her, but things went different. So I married who I married. And this young lady, after I got married, she was still after me. So me and my wife, we moved down south. And she was always sending messages through my family. When I would go and visit my grandmother, so one time I went to visit my grandmother said, here, so-and-so left this for you. It was an envelope. And at the time, I don't know if anybody else ever went through this, but, when you first get married, it seemed like I was still attached to my family. I always wanted to go by there, and my wife wanted to spend time, and, just young and dumb, me at the time, young and dumb. So I take the letter. She says, from so-and-so. I didn't open it. I'm going to show you God, though. So what I did, instead of throwing it in the garbage,
What you do?
I took it home and put it in one of my suit jackets.
She got the letter.
Found the letter.
I come home, listen, this is what God too. I come through the door, and she had a look on her face. And I was like, what did I do? I ain't did nothing. I know I ain't did nothing. And I went in the bedroom, and guess what was on the bed? And the first thing I was like, how in the world did she just go through? But there was a trust issue. What was she doing in my closet? And I hadn't even read the letter yet, I don't think. So she really read the letter before, and the letter was, the girl was really pouring her heart out. But the look on my wife's face, but it was my fault. And the thing about it is, prior to all of that happening, when I think about it now, hindsight is 20/20, she used to question me about, when we come home from Bible class, sometimes as a pastor, I didn't come right home. So why you come home so late? Well, you just in Bible class. You left early, So it was just a trust thing. But the questions used to get on my nerves. You know,
After
and,
she found the letter to continue.
oh man, well no, you know, I had to really do some kissing the ground, all that,
Spirit.
make it up. You know, but yeah.
But did it get worse after that situation?
Yeah, it did. Because I don't think I couldn't stay out late there. Really. I mean, I couldn't go by my grandmother's house unless I was with her. Yeah.
You couldn't go out. You know you still did.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm saying where I had to have a good reason. I had to be visiting the sick, or I had to do something like that. But it wasn't I just went by my mother's house, you know. And see, but let me tell you something. I mean, I will say this here, and I'm sure if she was here, she can attest to this. I don't, never have I engaged in any activity that would have jeopardized my marriage. Even though I was doing wrong things as far as maybe being out late, but never, and that's the honest to God truth.
Why you divorced? I'm just
that's a good question. I'm still asking myself. But I mean, I was still farming, you know, even though I'm married. So nobody could bring no garbage to my ex-wife and say this or say that. But I'm just saying it was a lot of foolishness that I did, and I've learned. Remember, I told you I'm coming from my own experience. Right. I've learned from my mistake. First of all, if you don't build a bond with that woman, she got to know you. She got to know if you come in at 1 o'clock, he was somewhere casting the devil out. She know for a fact my man was somewhere working, making money.
What woman are you talking about?
You was casting devil out the ex.
No. I'm just
Exactly. What woman? What planet you talking about? She ain't just gonna be like, oh, my husband was back. Baby, bye. In today's world?
Well, I'm just saying, but there are, like, you look at some of these.
I know what you're saying.
Some
Okay.
days
I'm
come
not
back.
I hear what you're saying. You have developed a bond.
Right.
She knows if anybody came and said something, that's not my man.
Well, I'm not even talking about even they said. Right. But even if they just the fact that you out late or whatever, you don't have that bond with her. You know.
Were you upset with her for going through your things?
I was.
Yes.
Yo, I was.
Yeah. That's
To the
what
point where I had
trust,
to
too.
leave the house because I was embarrassed. And when you catch a man, when you caught, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta be mad. How do you call me? You said you weren't doing anything.
No, I'm saying the letter.
Okay.
Lord,
I'm just saying.
I'm
question. Okay. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Too much questioning,
I know
women.
that.
Don't ask too many questions.
And we said pet peeve. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just.
Too much questioning. Even though you got trust issues, you got to work on your wanting to know. Just pray to Jesus. Just don't ask him all these questions. I'm just telling you. It's the truth.
Okay.
I have several pet peeves, but the one that I think is the most aggravating, besides he alluded to some of them, the most women are natural nurturers, but you're not my mama. Don't get mad when I say, leave me alone, let me do it. That's my biggest pet peeve. Or you try to take an authority over me like my mother would. Like curfew. I'm a grown man. I ain't never had one. No, it's just a matter of respect. No. I'm coming home. That's my pet peeve. I'm not saying it's just mine. I'm nocturnal by nature. I love night air. For years, a lot of stuff I did, it was late at night because I'm a musician. Studio time was cheaper.
I think consistency, no matter what, where he is consistent trust, no matter what he's doing at any time, if you have consistent trust and there is no issues, then you can do whatever you want to.
A man is where, but the bottom line, if he don't want to be with you, he's not going to.
Right. That's where I'm.
And it doesn't matter what time of day
Where
it
he
is.
is, what he's doing. That's right.
Because keep it real, when I was doing my dirt, it was in the daytime.
Who would want to? I mean, that would give a man up at night doing. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's when y'all get suspicious.
Right. Exactly. We thinkers now.
So all of y'all, make sure you check on your man during the day.
Hey man, why your wife keep calling the job?
That I have learned today. Stop checking on them at night. Follow that apology. All right. Appreciate it. That was a good one.
That's true.
You got them all sitting with the views.
Most of them don't work.
If she got time during the day, then I guess you are messing with A.
Good stuff. Okay.
Thoughts don't work.
Mr. Mary Shaw over here.
I'm FaceTime him at work. What? Let me see who I want next. I'm good. Thoughts don't
All
work.
right, anyway, wait.
Ooh, that's another one I got to do.
Y'all married over here?
I'm divorced.
I'm single. I don't know how successfully.
Whatever that means. But I am.
Go ahead.
Question. This is imperative in this day and time for women. Oh,
No, you didn't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I'm trying not to get in trouble. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Mr.
Get all this
Jones, please tell me. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
What is your pet peeve that women do? I'm sorry.
I think I'm damaged goods because I've had so many problems with women on this pet peeve. It's keeping my secrets. If I tell you something that's so dear to my heart, it seems like everyone that I've ever dated, including the married one, told, and it always came back to me. My story is kind of like his. I was 16, and I would get love letters from my girlfriend, and then another girlfriend that broke off with one. I didn't have 2 or 3 at that time. I didn't know how to do that. Okay, so I built up love letters. All right, and I made a shoebox called "The Life and Times of Walter Jones." All right,
I had a box.
I was 16.
I had a box.
Yeah, and I
threw
put
my
and it
box
was
away.
a stack of love letters in that box. Well, I turned 21. I got married. I kept that box. All right, so I moved everything in my apartment into our apartment, and I put that box in the closet. All right,
That's where mine was. Out the way.
Now, part of this was my fault, and the other part is her fault. All right, so that's in that box. It stays there. I didn't touch it, and neither she did. Matter of fact, I forgot about it. And I went to work. One day I came home, and I went in the closet to look for something. But that box, even though I forgot it was in there, it was holding up something. So the thing that it was holding up was moved. I'm like, okay, this is moved. Why? And I realized the box is gone. I went looking, going through the closet. Now I'm sweating bullets. Oh my God. What's going on? I know she been in here. And then I said, hey, babe, the box. What happened to it? Just I tossed it. My heart. You see what I'm saying? My heart drops. I said, oh my, now.
This is my box.
Yeah. Now here's a strange thing about that. I was 21 then. I'm almost 50 now. Why is it that whenever you ask me about that marriage, I think about that. Why was that so traumatic for me? Okay? Those were my memories. I didn't like those girls anymore. But those were my memories. So here's why I say it was my fault and hers. Number one, when we came into this relationship, I should have said, okay, here's the box. What do we do with this? Okay, these are past memories of girls. All right? I'm going to ask you for permission either to keep it, or if you don't want me to keep it, it's got to go. And that's what we should have done. All right? We're young and foolish. Okay? Her fault was she tossed it.
Disrespectful.
And didn't tell me.
That's true.
Okay? So I punished her for doing that. I didn't want to talk to her. I withheld sex. I all kind of stuff for weeks. Okay, again, yeah, right. Okay, so I eventually kind of got over it. All right, took some years though. Kind of. Okay, like y'all do. Y'all remember dates and times of the stuff we do? I'm telling you. If I wanted to use ammunition on her or something that she did, I always bring up the box. Okay? All right. So, divorce, or not over the box, but we divorced. Okay. If you go and tell people stuff about his innermost thoughts, secrets, and things, and you tell them that stuff, you're really doing a disjustice to him, even though y'all not together, because now you got to dig on the spiritual side. We all are made in God's image. And he still is your brother, even though that may sound nasty. He's still a brother in Christ, even though y'all not together again. When me and the wife split up, I protected her till this day. I protect her. And she turns around and protects me. I don't talk about the stuff that happens between she and I do a show. You've been on my show many a day. I never once called her name out. And we've been on the show since October 6th. You never heard that name. Okay? And if I make examples, it's usually examples that's like, it's not those, she got a mole right here on the back of her, none of that stuff. All right? And the reason why I say that is because when I was dating a woman, we were so close and I told her my secrets. And then what happened was we broke up. She turned around and got married to a guy. And then she began to tell him everything about me. It was all negative. He joined the church that I was at. We got ordained together. Okay? And she's at that church too. So he can't talk to me. We're sitting there being ordained together and the brother won't even look at me. Because of all the stuff I know. Now, I didn't know this. I thought that's what she was doing. I just assumed it. Even though they never told me this. I know this was going on. So weeks went by, months went by. He would not talk to me in the ministers' meetings. He would not look at me. Wouldn't even sit next to me. I was like, man, this is of the devil. One day, they fought. They separated and divorced. He got kicked out. He living in a shelter, right? He walks up to me. I park in the parking lot. He comes down the street. I get out. I say, hey, man. I'm thinking, I don't even need to speak to him. He didn't speak to me. He said, hey, brother. I'm like, wow. How you doing? I said, fine. I said, what you doing? He says, man, I'm living in a shelter. I lost my job. I'm living in my car. He says, sometimes because I can't get to the shelter on time, there's a time limit where you got to be in there. And he says, man, I ain't got no money. I dug in my pocket, gave him everything I had in my pocket. And he started to cry. Okay. I said, man, dude, it's okay, man. I can go get some more if you need it. He says, man, let me tell you something. I said, what? I want to apologize. And I knew then what he was getting ready to say. He said, my wife rehearsed in my ear, and it's usually at night in bed, okay? It's the intimate moments. She whispered in my ear all the time about the stuff that y'all did. She hated your guts, and she told me how much she hated you. And in return, I hate you. Oh, I hated you. He says, but I got to know who you were by sitting in those classes and watching how you interact with the people. And I realized you're not really the guy. It's what happened between you and her was between you and her. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I had to realize that you should not be basing people's character off of the enemy. And he says, I want to apologize. I said, wow, I wasn't expecting it. And I said, I thank you for that. A few weeks later, she called me on the phone because she needed something from me. And she said, before I ask you for this, I got to say something. I said, what? I told my ex-husband some things I should not have said. I said, you don't have to finish it. I already know. I said, I accept your apology. Now, what do you need? And she needed something that was vital to her. And I gave it to her. And that was a message for me. So when I got married, I realized, Walter, that was your message. Don't ever push your ex-wife in the mud when something happens like that. Don't do it because it's not good. Because the next person that she meets, on and on and on. So my pet peeve, I knew it was a long story. My pet peeve is if I tell a woman something, that walk I was telling y'all about, when I'm walking with you and I'm telling you my heart, hopefully that's going to stay with you so that you can help me with it. See what I'm saying? And then if something happens when we do break up, I like your story, Yvette. I hear it a lot. You're passionate about it. But in a sense, you still protected, brother, because you don't never call out his name. Don't do it, do you? Don't call his name. She talked about her hurt and pain and struggle so that it can help all of you all. And in return, she tells y'all, pray for the brother so that this won't happen to another person. Hopefully that you guys won't be going through this as well. That's why I identify with Yvette Ford. That's why I like to have her on my shows on Monday and Tuesday. She abandoned me, though. She left me.
I did not.
She abandoned
you.
So the big picture, don't tell your next about your ex.
Or I'll take it even deeper than this. Don't abuse moments of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Never abuse moments of vulnerability.
That's good.
Even though in that moment you want to do things to get back at him, it will hurt you later if you use
Absolutely.
moments of vulnerability.
That's good.
It's reciprocal. You reap what you sow.
I get that.
You do.
Because they're very far and in between. So if they come, never abuse them.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I apologized to my wife. Yes, I did. Took me 10 years to do it because she would not talk to me. And I stood in front of her and says, I apologize for everything I've ever done to you because I can't move.
Go.
No, it's only going to take. Now, I'm gonna answer it and you finish. Fill in the blank. All right? The way to a man's heart is through what?
I cannot answer.
Can't answer that. All right.
That's
That's honesty. Love that. The way to a man's heart is? Through his stomach. Okay, you heard that now. The way to a man's heart?
I'm going to go last because I always
You gonna go
try
last?
to be-
Okay, the way to a man's heart. It's mine? Okay, you heard that, right?
Yeah, they think it.
The way to a man's heart.
I give it a question.
The way to a man's heart.
Through laughter. Okay.
Through laughter. The way to a man's heart.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Honesty.
Good answer. The way to a man's heart.
Communication.
Communication? Okay. The way to a man's heart.
Honesty.
Honesty? The way to
Listening.
listening.
Listening
Okay.
to him.
Okay. No. The way to a man's heart. What's important to him?
I would say listening to him when he speaks.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay. All right. Now y'all heard the answers, right? Okay. Now your turn. The way to a man's heart.
She gonna fail. She know
No.
the answer. Don't remember. You've heard us say it before.
I probably have.
Mm-hmm.
But stop trying to say.
I'm trying to remember it.
I just want to know the answer.
Way to a man.
Okay. Now, why do you think you all have to think about it though?
I know what the saying is, but that doesn't
That's why I say no
necessarily mean it's
cliche.
true.
Don't think about the same.
Right.
So what do you think the way to a man's heart is?
Honestly, I would say you'd have to go back to the Creator.
What if he's not a godly man? So the way to his heart.
I don't want him then.
Okay, no, that's not the question. But that's not the question.
Okay, I
The way
answered
to
those.
the way to a man, a general man, the way to his heart. What do you think it is?
I already answered. That's your turn.
Okay, you said mine.
Yes.
Why do you say mine?
No, you said answer with one word. Don't put
Okay.
me on First Street. Don't
I
leave
went
me
around-
going.
I went
answer
around
is
the block.
Victoria. No,
He gets
you
to answer.
answered.
Yeah.
You're trying to get
Right,
off
right.
of
I'm not.
Yes,
Go
you
ahead.
are.
Answer his question.
I don't speak.
Why do you say
Yeah,
mine?
she don't speak English.
She is funny.
So your turn, Yvette. What's the way to a man's heart?
I don't want to answer wrong. I'm trying to remember.
It's not a right or
It's not
wrong
right.
answer.
It's how. What do you think? What do you think that's going to move
I know
him?
through the woman is through her ears,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but for the man,
Yeah.
Ooh, this is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
I'm trying to remember what it
Yes.
was. Through his heart,
You
the
have
way
to-
to his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. To his heart is through his heart. Yeah.
Oh, now y'all coming up with all
I just thought about that.
Come on, give us something. We gotta go.
Come on.
Just tell me what it is.
You see? Okay.
You should just say I don't know that.
Yeah. Just say you don't know, and I think that's
Well, I don't remember.
right. So what you said is you laid out this perfect woman, but she's saying that in her mind, this is this perfect woman, but that's not necessarily true. I think we are our worst judges. We're worse. We're horrible. He's a musician, singer, yada yada yada. Okay, yeah, you know sing.
I know one song.
Okay, but the ones who say I can sing, I can blow, sometimes are the worst singers to me. You're a horrible judge for yourself. So what you think is a smooth, perfect woman who's strong, but yet she's balanced, may not really be so. Okay? Because I think you said something about a nag. I think you said something about nag earlier. You says what his interpretation of nagging is. You heard that, right?
I heard that.
Because my interpretation of nagging is different than your interpretation of nagging. I did a show called, Al, remember this show? It's called Men Who Love Edith Bunker.
Yeah.
One of my greatest shows.
Yeah.
The reason why that was a great show for men is because we don't really want Jefferson's wife,
Louise.
Louise. We don't want her. We want Edith. I don't know if y'all ever watched all these things. Okay, yeah. We want Edith. Okay, watch
Find that
this.
show on Spreaker.com. www.spreaker.com.
Go to
Sir Walter Jones.
Spreaker.com.
You can hear the whole
Or
show.
you got the website. The Men Who Love Edith Bunker. Here's why men love Edith. More so than he may like Jefferson or what's the other show?
We did a show on Edith. We did a show on Claire. We did a show on
Claire Huxtable,
Florida.
Florida Evans.
Yes, and we did a show on Louisa Jefferson.
Absolutely. They love Edith Bunkers because she is that submissive woman. When Archie comes home, he calls her whatever he wants to. Ding back, stifle yourself, okay? She runs in the kitchen. Oh, Archie! Gets to dinner. Okay, y'all might say, I ain't gonna be that woman. That's not really the woman we necessarily want. It's the strength in Edith that y'all don't see. Because Edith ran that house.
And she checked Archie
She checked him.
many times.
Yes. He
With
says,
symbols and
"Edith,
gestures.
I put my foot down. Let me tell you, this is how it's going to be." She'll say, "All right, Archie. All right. Sit down, baby." She gave him his beer and his food. And when she got through with that 30-minute program, she had him in her hands. When he said no at 7 o'clock, by 7:30, he said yes. Because she used grace. She used humility. Okay? And she says, Archie, one time when he says, that's it, I ain't going to take no more. She says, Archie, I hardly ever ask you to do nothing for me.
She reminds him of his worth,
Absolutely.
of her worth.
Yes, absolutely.
And when she raised her voice, it counted.
It counted. Yes.
She reminds him of
Her worth.
by what she does, is what you're saying.
Without nagging.
Without the name.
nagging.
Absolutely, because we look at that.
I want to spend my marriage reminding him.
You have to.
Yeah, we intimidated by.
You have to.
Sure. We intimidated by the strength seems to be intimidating to us. And I like his answer as well. A lot of black men are angry. We come up angry. A lot of times it's either the absence of the father or the father that was in the house made us angry. We take it out on y'all. Okay? So then y'all have to know how to tame my angry beast. Edith Bunker did it. So I asked you a question, what's the way to a man's heart? The way to a man's heart is through his chest, not his stomach. Y'all think, yes, y'all think y'all can feed us. Because that's the saying, the way to a man's heart is through his chest,
His stomach.
It is not. A prostitute can take care of his sexual needs, and Aunt Jemima can take care of his
He can go to a restaurant and eat what he
man.
wants.
You see what I'm saying? But his chest, that's where his ego is. That's where his pride is.
What does he put his woman when he's really, really proud of her?
Yeah.
When y'all together?
Uh-huh.
Or you sitting down?
Yeah.
And where you feel most safe?
Mm-hmm.
He
Bam.
lay your head right here.
Put it right there.
That's where he's putting you in a place of endearment,
Yeah.
tenderness.
Mm-hmm.
If you're laying down or sitting together, and you naturally go there, and he'll put you there. If he don't want you there, he'll turn to the side, or he'll just hold you up and put his arm around here.
Right.
If he letting you stay here,
Mhm.
that's to his heart.
Yes. And the girl next door knows that. The girl next door is ugly. But she knows that the woman next door is not taking care of his chest. So what she does is she picks him up, his ego up. You are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Man, I like the way when you walk like this. Now his woman don't tell him that stuff no more. The next door girl like, man, when you do this, there's a Tyler Perry movie called where the girl at the end gets AIDS.
Yeah.
It's called I can't remember the name of it. Temptation. Great analogy, okay? Because what happened was the guy, she's married, she's dedicated to her husband, but when she goes to work, here's this guy who's making all this money, and he be making moves on her, and she's like, I'm married, yada yada yada. One day he walked to the desk, he says, wow. She said, what? No, nothing. He said, what? You know, when you smile, I notice that little crease does this. And when you blink, he started talking about her facial thing that the man at home didn't, he stopped noticing. So she like, stop it. So she went home to her husband. He said, baby, let's have sex. She said, no, wait, I'm tired. I said, haven't you noticed when I smile, do you see anything? You see what she's doing, right? And you know what the guy at the job did for her. And that's what the girl next door does for your man. She starts noticing the stuff that you stop noticing. And his chest is like, oh, snap. Wow. Because y'all say we're not emotional. That's where you lose your man. She knows he's emotional. But she works on his emotion. You know how we emotional? Go follow us to go buy a new car. Watch how we act.
And we call it a woman.
That's a straight woman. And I think R. Kelly says it best. He almost was a prophet. He says, "You remind me of my Jeep." And y'all says, "That's ridiculous. How am I going to remind you of an object?" Well, y'all don't understand. That's perfect. Because it's that Jeep where he washes every day. Right. He makes sure the tire pressure. When he bought that Jeep, he opened the hood. He tried to check how many, all the wires and everything. I mean, he checked it out.
He's attentive to it because he's riding in it.
He riding that thing. And watch it out. Watch this. When he bought it, he drove the Jeep and parked in the front of his house. Watch this. He gets out. He's walking towards his house. You know what he's going to do?
Look back.
Yes. He goes up to his house. He opens his door. He goes in his house. He opens his windows, the curtains. What's he doing? He's looking at it. And 2 o'clock in the morning, guess what he's going to do?
Check on his car.
He's going to check on it. If you don't remind him of his Jeep.
So get that perfume called New Car Smell, baby.
That's it. I'm just saying.
My response to the question is, it's a weak man that wants a weak woman.
That's right.
Because strong men like to be around strong men and strong women.
That's right. Yeah.
Like he said, as long as they know their role.
Uh-huh.
Me, a strong woman turns me on.
Yeah.
Really, it does. Especially if you... I'm in education, so there's a lot of women who think they're strong. And I say think, because to find out that they're really not, it's the role, because they've invested all of their worth in their degree. A degree means tenacity. It doesn't mean anything else. Tenacity and their potential to earn. It doesn't mean anything else. So it's nothing to see a strong janitor dipping off with the principal or the assistant principal, because he's learned how to compliment her, get in her ear, and say what needs to happen. He don't want nobody to know. She don't want to be embarrassed, but then all of a sudden somebody finds out or whatever. Because when it's all said and done, when it's time for intercourse, you submitting. Because he has to give.
That's right.
Even if you on top.
Yeah. That's right.
You have to open up and
He's still in
receive.
control.
Yep.
Yep, and that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's right.
No, you still submit. So a strong man don't mind a strong woman, because sometimes he may be tired and needs your strength.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Sir Walter Jones radio show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/AskTheElder. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.